Hello and welcome. Today, we're doing a deep dive into a platform called Vanta. It's designed to tackle some of the biggest and, frankly, most annoying headaches in manufacturing. If you've ever been anywhere near a design or production floor, you are definitely going to want to stick around for this. So let me just start by asking you this. Does your team ever feel like they're just stuck? Stuck in that loop of doing the same tasks over and over, fixing tiny but costly errors, and always trying to track down the right version of a file? If any of that sounds familiar, trust me, you are not alone. These little frustrations, they add up to some major costs and delays.
But hey, before we can talk about a solution, we really have to get a handle on the problem. People in the industry often call it the manufacturing bottleneck. It's basically this whole series of common issues that can just grind the entire process to a halt, from that first design sketch to the actual finished product.
Okay, first up is the one we all know and, well, don't love. The endless, soul-crushing reality of manual data entry. We're talking about the hours and hours spent just copying and pasting dimensions, part numbers, and specs from one place to another. It's tedious, it's a huge time suck, and honestly, it's just not the best use of a skilled engineer's time. And what happens when you have all that manual entry? Well, you get costly design errors. It's inevitable. A single misplaced decimal point, a typo in a part number. These things can slip by completely unnoticed until it is way too late. And that leads to wasted materials, production freezes, and super expensive rework.
And then there's my personal favorite, version control chaos. Oh, we have all seen this. File names like bracket_final_v2_ use this one, I swear. Right? When your design team, your engineers, and your production crew aren't all working from the exact same playbook, confusion is basically a guarantee and mistakes are pretty much inevitable.
So, if we boil it all down, what are we looking at? We've got time just vaporizing on repetitive CAD tasks. We've got errors popping up in manually created bills of materials. We have delays happening because someone is using an old drawing. And underneath it all, there's this general disconnect between the folks designing the product and the folks actually building it. It's a recipe for inefficiency. But what if there was a way to just break through that bottleneck? This is exactly where Vanta enters the picture. It's a platform built from the ground up to tackle these specific problems head-on. So what is Vanta? Well, at its heart, it's an automation platform. Its whole reason for being is to connect all those scattered pieces of your workflow, from that initial 3D model all the way to the final manufacturing drawings, and make them all work together like a well-oiled machine. Okay, so how does it actually pull that off? Let's break down Vanta's core features. These are the tools it uses to automate all those little details so your team can finally focus on the big picture stuff.
The first feature, and honestly, this one might be the most powerful, is parametric CAD automation. Now, this is all about making your 3D models, well, intelligent. Just think about the difference here. The manual way, if you need 10 different sizes of the same part, that could mean making 10 separate models, adjusting every single one by hand. What a grind. But with Vanta, you define the design rules once. That's it. From then on, you just feed it new parameters and boom, Vanta automatically generates the new, perfectly accurate design. This just wipes out both the repetition and the risk of human error. Next up, let's talk about the Bill of Materials, or the BOM. This little document is one of the most critical pieces of the puzzle in manufacturing, and it's also one of the biggest sources of mistakes. This is the perfect way to think about it. The BOM is your master recipe. It lists every single nut, bolt, and widget you need. And if that recipe is wrong, if it lists the wrong part number or the wrong quantity, your entire production line can just grind to a halt. And this really shows the huge shift from a manual to an integrated process. Instead of an engineer sitting there painstakingly typing part numbers into a spreadsheet, Vanta just generates the BOM directly from the 3D CAD model. And the best part? If the design changes, the BOM updates automatically. It's always in sync, it's always correct, period. This automation flows right into the next feature, streamlined drawings. See, the 3D model is great for designers, but the 2D manufacturing drawings, that's the language of the shop floor. And those drawings have to be absolutely perfect. Vanta just simplifies this whole thing. Once a design gets the green light, Vanta automatically spits out all the required drawings, the top views, side views, section views, the whole shebang, all based on templates you've already set up. Then, those drawings are instantly available to everyone who needs them, which makes sure the production team is never working from an outdated version again.
And that brings us to the final feature that really ties it all together, the centralized viewer. This is all about breaking down those invisible walls, those communication silos between different departments. I mean, think about it. Your sales team, your purchasing manager, even your client, they all need to see the design at some point, but they don't have expensive CAD software on their computers. Vanta's viewer gives everyone a single source of truth that they can get to from any device with a web browser. They can pull up the 3D model, spin it around, check out the latest drawings, all without needing to install a thing. This is a game changer for reducing miscommunication. So when you put all these features together, what does it actually look like? Well, it's a massive shift for a manufacturing team. It moves them from a state of constant friction and firefighting to one of smooth, automated flow.
The result is pretty clear. When you automate all those repetitive tasks, your teams get a huge boost in speed. When you take manual data entry out of the equation, your errors just plummet. And when you give everyone a central hub for information, collaboration across the whole company gets so much better. So, at the end of the day, Vanta isn't just about doing the same old things a little bit faster. It's about fundamentally changing how the work gets done. It takes a complex, error-prone process and turns it into a workflow that is simple, automated, and truly collaborative. And that really leaves us with one final, and I think, very exciting question. By getting rid of all those bottlenecks, by automating the busy work, you're not just saving time and money. You're freeing up your team's most valuable resource, their creativity, their expertise. So, with your workflow automated, what could you create next?